Hello and welcome. This is We Talk Football. The season has already begun. The season has started. We're 2 games into the Premier League, and we're already having a really big game. I mean, like, look, first game week, we had Manchester United versus Arsenal. That's huge, and it's the third week. We'll already have another big game. Arsenal traveling to Anfield to face Liverpool, and that's going to be a really big one. That's going to be a big game. I feel like, um, you know, 2 games in, it looks like Arsenal and Liverpool have been really good, and so like if you look at how you think the season is going to pan out, Liverpool and Arsenal are going to be one of the two title favorites, two title challengers, should I say? You know what I mean? So for this game to be coming on in game week 3 is pretty big. So let's see. And I wanted to talk about the game this weekend. Some of the things that might happen, a little preview of the game because it's a huge game, right? Now, before we get into that, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below at We Talk Football 24. Also, look us up on Facebook at We Talk Football 24, and they're on Instagram as well. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, it's only been 2 games into the Premier League season. Now we have this huge fixture. Liverpool are hosting Arsenal, and look, it's a big game because these are 2 teams that might win the league. I think, in my eyes, right? In my opinion, I still think Liverpool are ahead of Arsenal because of what they did last year, winning the Premier League, the players that they have, the money that they've spent. They've had a really good window, Liverpool, right? Bringing in Frimpong to replace Trent, bringing in Kirkes to, Robertson is still there, but to replace Robertson. They've brought in Ekatike, who has been amazing. I think I've been, surprised by him. He's a really, look, you can see he has the talent, and you can see why Liverpool paid 90 million euros for that kid. He's that good. His touch, his linker play, he's big, he's 6'3". He can score goals. He's got a really good finish on him. And he's played three games for Liverpool if you count the Community Shield, and he's got 3 really beautiful finishes, really good goals. And so, like, if you combine what Liverpool did last year, winning the Premier League, and the summer that they've had, the window, in my eyes, I still put them in front of Arsenal. And I know they've had a really tough start in terms of, defensively, more especially. Oh, and also I forgot about Florian Wirtz. How could I forget about Florian Wirtz? They also brought in Florian Wirtz for 120 plus, 126 million euros. That's big. One of the best talents in European football. One of the most creative players, one of the most skillful players to come on. And so in my eyes, like, when I look at Liverpool, right, they still are really strong, especially offensively, even with the tough start that they had in the first weekend against Bournemouth, and this tough start, or the tough game that they had. It was a tough emotional game versus Newcastle, was more especially for Newcastle. But I think for any team going to St. James's Park, regardless of the circumstances that's going on between Liverpool, Newcastle, and Isak, it's a tough game to go there. You know what I mean? Like, for any team, like I always say, Arsenal, one of the toughest fixtures for us to look forward to is St. James's Park, Newcastle at their home ground. They always play us tough. You know what I mean? Physical, strong. And so for them to go there and win, even though they didn't play really, really well, that's huge. Like for them, that's big. Just to get there, get the 3 points, and like the way they've won these games, right? It just tells you that they have the fight to go there and win games. Now, I personally think they do have a few frailties on defense. And I know a lot of people have been talking about Konate a lot, but I do believe that they will struggle to stop opposition players if they think Jeremy Frimpong is going to be their full-time right back. I would still lean into Connor Bradley. I think he's a better fullback. He's better defensively, and he can go forward. I think he's a better all-round right back than Frimpong. And Kirkes has had a little bit of a shaky start. He is good, and I think he will come good, but the start that he's had isn't ideal. So I know Liverpool will be looking to get those two running. Florian Wirtz hasn't had a really good start as well. He's been shaky. He doesn't look as confident as he does or as he has in previous, games for Bayer Leverkusen or Germany. In my opinion of Florian Wirtz, I think he is a good player, but I think Liverpool might have slightly overpaid for him. I do believe that he is a talent, but I'm not sure if he has the talent to be. I don't know if he has the thing to take a team and take them over the top, like Liverpool want him to do. But let's see. I mean, like, it's early. Thing is, for me, I watched him at the Euros last year, and by far, Musiala was Germany's best player. And when I was looking at Florian Wirtz, trying to see how good is he, and I'm not gonna lie, he was underwhelming for me. Like, he didn't do what I thought he should have for a player that's spoken of that much. And so I feel like maybe there's something there for Liverpool to look at. But let's see. I don't know. Let's see how the season goes. But they've had a really good start, as I said. Like, I'm impressed with Ekitike. They're really good. He's scored some really beautiful finishes. And not only that, but when you look at his all-round game, it's really good. Like, the link-up play, he's comfortable on the ball. He's comfortable, sharing the ball with his teammates and moving into spaces where he can hurt you. And I think he's had a really good start at Liverpool. Now, I know he got subbed off against Newcastle, but that's probably because maybe Liverpool thought they wouldn't get a goal, and so they wanted to change things up. But I like Ekitike. I think he's really good. He's an awesome talent. And like, I was thinking about this, I know a lot of people were looking at Benjamin Sesko as the next best kind of number 9 coming through, but Ekitike is right there, if not better than Benjamin Sesko, in my opinion. I think he's better than Benjamin Sesko. And if Newcastle had been stronger in their pursuit for Ekitike, I think they should have gotten him. I think Isak would be at Liverpool now if they got Ekitike. You know what I mean? And that's I like when I talk about the fixture against Newcastle for Liverpool, that's the other thing that has to be considered. Like, Newcastle wanted Ekitike, and Liverpool bullied them out of the deal. They said, hey, if you go for Ekitike, if you sign Ekitike, we'll go for Isak 100%. And they duped him, bro. Like, they fooled Newcastle into thinking, okay, let's let Ekitike go, we'll keep Isak. Now Isak wants to leave, and Liverpool want Isak. How effed up is that, man? Anyway, it's going to be a big fixture. Now let's look at Arsenal, and Arsenal have been really good as well. The first game was not good against Manchester. Like, Manchester United just lost to Grimsby, and that's one of the worst results I've ever seen from a big team ever. From, like, the big teams, when you think of the big teams, Barcelona, AC Milan, all them, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. That's one of the worst results I've ever seen from a big team. You know what I mean? Losing to Grimsby, and Manchester United outplayed Arsenal off the park on the first game week. But then, like looking at that game, I think we've seen Arsenal have a few of those kind of games, and always, I always say this: Arsenal going to Old Trafford is always tough. It's always tough. I think in the Premier League era, we've only won at Old Trafford 6 times. 3 times with Mikel Arteta. Half of those 6 wins have been under Mikel Arteta. And it's never easy. And all of them, we've won them 1-0. You know what I mean? So that was a tough start. And then we went to have our home debut against Leeds United. We put 5 past them. The beginning of the game, the first 30-ish minutes of the game was really not good. It looks like we lacked creativity. We couldn't find spaces. We couldn't find the right pass, the final pass to get a goal. And then, I mean, like the floodgates opened, and then we put 5 past them. I'm glad Victor Gyökeres finally got off the mark. He got his 2 goals. And they were both really good goals. I mean, the penalty, right? It's a penalty. But the way he struck it with power, and he just knew exactly what he wanted to do as soon as he got the ball. You know what I mean? And then, like, the first goal he scored, like, running down the channel, cutting inside, you know, going past 2 defenders and knowing exactly what he wanted to do, create a little bit of space to get his shot off and score a goal. Like, that's the kind of striker you want at Arsenal. Someone who's just going to want to score goals, run the channels, run into spaces, work the centre-backs. Gyökeres is that. Big physicals. He's 6'2". Like, when I look at him on TV, he doesn't look 6'2", but he's big. He's 6'2", full 6'2", and he's got a body on him. He's a man's man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to battle. He's not going to be afraid of a shoulder-to-shoulder game kind of thing, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, and also, like, he's not a slouch, you know what I mean? Like, he can run. He's fast. Now, going to Liverpool, right? I don't know if I want Victor Gyökeres to get into a physical battle with Virgil van Dijk or Konate, because I think Virgil van Dijk likes those kind of strikers that are physical, strikers that will want to play that kind of physical game with him. And then, like, it's easier for him to play against those kind of strikers, like a Haaland, like a Gyökeres, like Diego Costa, right? But if he plays strikers that move, that are silky, that are good on the ball, that he gets into trouble. Players like Isak. We've seen him struggle against Isak. We saw him struggle against Gabriel Jesus a few seasons ago when Arsenal drew 2-2. You know what I mean? Like, the movement, the skill, the dribbling, like, he struggles against strikers like that. So I want Gyökeres to not try to get into that kind of physical battle with Virgil van Dijk. I want him to just run the channels, find his teammates, or try to get a shot off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want my striker to do. I also think if we are to win, we have to, looking at the lineups, right? If we have to win, I want Arsenal to start with Calafiori at left back. If we had Ben White, I'd start Ben White and move Timber to left back because he's our best one-on-one defender against Salah. But because Ben White is unavailable, I think we have to play Calafiori at left back. I like Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think he's awesome. He's one of the best talents coming up in world football right now. But in a game against Mohamed Salah, I think because he's not a natural fullback, I think the talk around Miles Lewis-Skelly, right? As good as he is at left back, I don't think he's as good as Calafiori, and I think his best position will be in midfield. So in this kind of game, in this kind of atmosphere, against Liverpool, against Mohamed Salah, I want Calafiori because he is the better defender, and he has started really strongly. Like, he was, as poor as Arsenal was at Old Trafford, he was one of our best players, Calafiori. And last week he played really well. You know what I'm saying? So I want Calafiori starting at left back, and I think that's where our game will probably be won or lost. Defense. Arsenal have had the best defense for 2 years, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't lost to the big six: Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool in 2 seasons. Last season we didn't lose to the big six. The previous season didn't lose to the big six. It's part of our defense is a part of that. Gabriel, Saliba, David Raya is probably the second best goalkeeper in the league. I still give it to, a lot of people are giving it to Raya as the best goalkeeper right now in the Premier League. I'm still going to say it's Alisson. And so, like, if you have that kind of defense and Timber on the left hand side, that's amazing. Like, that's a title winning defense right there. And so if we go to Anfield, it's going to be a tough game because you have an on-form Ekitike, and Mohamed Salah is Mohamed Salah. You can't rest on that man. He can have a poor game and score or create a chance like that. So we have to have a strong defensive game. Our midfield has to be really good and robust. McAllister is going to be back for Liverpool. So McAllister, Gravenberch is back. We have to have Declan Rice in top 4. We have to have big game Declan Rice being Declan Rice, bro. In big games, he always turns up. We need that. We need Zubimendi to be really up for it physically. I'm not sure if he will have had a more tough game in midfield, because I think as good as Manchester United were, but their midfield wasn't, like, it was good but not great. Leeds wasn't great in midfield, and so this is going to be the first time Zubimendi goes up against like McAllister, Gravenberch kind of, midfield for us against Arsenal. So we need him to be in top form. Hopefully Martin Odegaard is back. Bukayo Saka is out, and that's huge. I think if we had Saka and Eze, that would be a different story. Like, it wouldn't be, I think you would think Arsenal go into that match slight favourites if we had Saka. We don't. Anyway, I think Madueke has to start on the right hand side and have Eze on the left. Or Martinelli has been really good against Liverpool. He scored a lot of goals. He always seems to put in a good performance against Liverpool. If you want to, you could go Martinelli, rest Odegaard, Eze in the 10, Madueke, and then Gyökeres. You could do that, but I still think going to places like Anfield, you need your captain, at least to start. If we start with Martin Odegaard, and then maybe later on in the game, then we bring on Martinelli, that wouldn't be a bad option to come off the bench. It would be actually a really good option coming off the bench. So, like, Liverpool's attack will either win them or lose them the game. Arsenal's defense will either win us or lose us the game. And then I think the midfields will probably, it might cancel each other out. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully Arsenal's midfield comes up big. We're prepared. Hopefully Eze has an excellent debut. I'd start him. He has to start, especially with Saka out. If Saka was there, maybe I'd say, okay, Eze in the second half or something like that. But we don't have Saka. We need Eze to start and start strongly. I'm not going to do a prediction. I don't know what's going to happen. Of course, I wish Arsenal win, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a big game. I think these are two teams that have had the best transfer windows in England. So going up head to head, third game of the new EPL season. Let's see how it's gonna happen. Anyway, make sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, share. Tell me what you think. Let me know what you think your prediction will be. I didn't predict, but you could. Please let me know. Remember to follow us everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe. Turn on your notification bell for every video we post. Thank you very much. Have a nice one. I'll see you next time. Awareness.